one bite. It is something that you have to work at. You take the spoon, you lift it, you blow on the soup, you cool it, you change it to a situation of cooling, of patience. Once it is at that temperature, then we start to eat the soup. So in this Odu, it's showing us how everything doesn't have to be in a rush. If we follow the plan given by our ancestors, by Ifa, we will have victory. Everything isn't microwave and the moment that we want it. There are certain lessons that we have to learn. There are certain experiences that we have to have before we can get to a point of receiving the victory. So we have to understand that, in essence, a lot of the times, there's a saying, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's all a matter of perspective. And if we keep our perspective in the energy of patience or suru, then it gives us the opportunity to receive these lessons as well as be in gratitude for the lessons we learn throughout it, because there will be other instances in life where we will need to have patience. They will show up in different forms and be presented in different situations, but the outcome and the requirements, well, not the outcome will not be the same, but the requirements will be the same as far as patience. As we grow, as we elevate, we will be in positions to recognize the different situations as they present themselves. But it's a matter of keeping a cool head and understanding that it's not always going to be a rush. There's process to everything. Baba, you can tell me
Hey, that's fire.
any moment. That's what, when I look at that Odu, um, I have different scenarios running through my mind within my own life that I can apply to this, where I had to implement patience or understand that it was a bit by bit process. A lot of the things that we accomplish isn't going to be overnight. It's not going to be at the snap of a finger. It's going to be through work, dedication, through learning lessons and applying those lessons and the things that we learn to have an understanding of where we need to go so we don't loop back and repeat cycles. Okay.
Ashe. Agbogbogbo maritiwo.
Eh.
So I love it. Yeah, I love it. You know what you say. I'm complete. I'm in complete agreement. Um, so we can move um awkwardly, right? Sometimes those, we unsure of how to proceed, right? And we may be trying to do it in challenging circumstances, right? So sometimes we can be in a rush. Sometimes we may be uncertain. But what you say is completely correct. Is the spoon? This is our connection to the ancestors through the spoon, the wooden spoon. And so, in one way, right, it's telling us to be mindful of those hot situations, right? Let those situations kind of like cool down and things like that before we approach them in a sense, or let's apply this coolness to it. And so, there's a lot of situations, personal, right, or interpersonal, um, you know, situations where we need the advice in order to like to slow down, right? We can be given, right? Somebody can bring us the drama. Somebody can bring us the challenge. Somebody can and this is a good analogy with the soup. Sometimes we can make the soup for ourselves. Baba like ramen. I like the kimchi ramen. You know, but I have to. There's things I do to cool it down, right? So, because if it's too spicy, right, that's one thing, but it could be also stove hot. So I do things. We all do things. We should do things in order to mitigate the hot, right? We can add cream to it. We can add different things, different ingredients in it to bring some of that spicy hot down, but also allowing it to cool. And so that requires a level of patience. I'm saying somebody bring you the drama. Sometimes, we're gonna fight fire with fire. We're gonna give it back to them. So this Odu Ifa says, yeah, I got alluded to it, right? Sometimes we just need to let things cool down. It's still ours. The blessing is still ours. It's just that we can't consume or become one with the blessing in this way. So with patience, right, blowing it off, right, cooling it down, using your own oath or ashe, right, that's something else because we apply our breath, you know, we apply coolness, like there's an act of applying coolness or an act of cooling down that is associated with this. So this is the thing that we must do, right? Also, right, patience is one, and applying the cooling using our own Ofuashe, right, that the ancestors gave us in this verse, right? We received the blessing. The blessing there is on the table. It's set. That's another thing. Once the table is set, right, we set the table, right? Once the table is set, right, it may be some things that's a little too hot for us to deal with in the moment. But given patience, right, testing it out, right, we can bring coolness and apply coolness. So, very good. I will Marituo.
Eh,
And so Agon is in Richmond. She is the head of our Egungun cult. Um, and those in Richmond, Io's up there with you. Baba will be up there before too long. David is up there with you. Baba Lawo, you know, he up there with you too. And so, Ashe, uh, questions, Ifadare, Ifafemi, Ifakan Solo,
No questions, Barbara.
Ifalekan.
Nah, no questions, bro.
I'm sorry, Agon, can you say the verse again? Even though we streaming, I didn't catch that part. Can we do the verse again?
Benny, give me 1 second. You want me to say it again?
Benny, you can just say it straight through.
Okay. Um, Sa Ba Turupon. He ran awkwardly. He walked awkwardly. Ifa's message for Ipon, the wooden spoon, when going to wage war on the land of the soup. He was advised to offer Ebo. He complied. Before long, not too far, join us in the midst of victory. Ashe.
I say, I do put that the bowl of soup is bigger than the spoon. The bowl of
Ashe.
soup is bigger than the spoon. The spoon can only take a little at a time. So this gives us also that's where patience is applied, is useful because it is bit by bit, right? We know that saying bit by bit we roast the head of the rat, or is it bit by bit we chew the head of the rat? Either way, it's bit by bit. Bit by bit do we overcome our enemies. Bit by bit do we consume them. Bit by bit do we overcome the challenge. Bit by bit, spoonful by spoonful, right? Do we come into alignment? If Enrique, any questions?
No questions, Barbara.
If I Timmy Land,
No, Bob. No, no questions, Bob.
Iya Ayo,
Um, I don't think I have this verse. Can I get it, please?
I think you do have this one.
I do.
No, I, I think you got this one. I got you. Yeah, Baba, you don't never send me what you're supposed to send me.
Look,
uh,
look, I went searching for it. I was like,
hold on. Turpon Sa was the Itai Dogun.
uh,
Let me look. Itai was the Itai Dogun.
is it the one where it's like he ran awkwardly and walked haphazardly? I am not joking with my awkward movement. No?
That might be it. Let's see. I'm looking in your thread right now.
Okay.
Because I'll be sending you stuff. That's a Turpon Tete. Let me look over here. You might not have this one.
Can I get it, please?
I said, oh, Turpon Tete. Osun Tola.
Me too, Bubble.
Danny, I'm going to send it to you right now.
Thank you. So I can go ahead and print it out. I'm going to read this morning.
Ashe, just give me 1 second. You should have it now. Ashe. Naze?
Said it back. I said it with the phone muted.
Ashe. Naze?
So my question is, what happens if Ifa asks you to do a bow and you don't have the money for the bow?
Well, it won't penalize you. Right? So sometimes people be like, nah, they'll put one thing in front of the other. So we've all done it. Naze, like I have this bill that needs to be paid. And so this is the thing that we put on the forefront, right? That bill need to be paid. And so, like I'm saying, we all go through it. We've all done it. Right? So you know your situation, you know your circumstance. The thing is that sometimes instead of making sacrifice, people will go out to eat. Instead of making sacrifice, people will buy cigarettes. Instead of making sacrifice, people will, you know, do whatever. And so in those situations, right, it's only your Ori that makes the decision. Right. So we can't so the thing about E5, right, it's about destiny. Right. And so E5 is not something that is outside of you. It's something that is completely you. Right. So your Ori, your avatar, your body, right, the situations that you find yourself in, that is Ifa. Right? Everything in the non-physical and physical world is Ifa. So whether you make the sacrifice or not, your destiny knows, right? One could say the situation or the option, the opportunity was written. It's a destined event. So if you genuinely don't have the money to do it, then there can't be any penalty, right? It's very personal. It's not for Oluo or Ojubona or any of the Iyanifas or anybody from the Ile to say, you're gonna be in trouble if you don't do it. You're gonna have challenges if you don't do it. Right? We've seen it several times where there's, people will receive the blessing, right? They haven't made the offering, they'll receive the blessing, right? And then they'll not do what they're supposed to do with the blessing. That's completely on you. So I can't say what will happen because, it's been some time since I've been in that position. I always make sacrifice. I always do. I can't tell you what'll happen if you don't. I can tell you what I've seen that has happened if a person doesn't, but those don't apply to me personally. So there's all types of things that can happen when people don't pay attention to the sacrifice. It could be physical death. I've seen it several times. I've seen it several times, not of the person necessarily, but of someone that the OD was talking about. So I'm just going to give you an example.
Okay.
So, um, April would have been April was a year, so we're about a year and a half, maybe a year and 3 quarters when Ojubona, Ifa Tomilola, and Awo Ifa Gunwa were in Nigeria in April. And I did a reading for someone here in Charlotte. I did a reading for someone here in Charlotte. And so they came to me off of referral. So the first person that I did the dot five for, it was kind of like everything was concise. Everything, every point that I told the person in the dot five happened like in quick succession. In about 3 weeks, all the things that had happened that the dot five spoke about had happened. So he brought a family member for referral. This is maybe in February. And so they brought the daughter his daughter by the shop, and so we did the dot five. The dot five said that she had a particular set of challenges. They had some court stuff going on. This was the reason for the dot five. So if I said that the woman belonged to Osun, that she would have a house by the river, that she would have her husband and she would have her children, and that she would have Ire Pupo. Immediately after the Dafa, the woman told me that's not what I was looking for. So I said, okay. I advised the lady to make a bow because it came in Iku. Death. Some time went by, so this is like the beginning of February. We're in Nigeria in March, and I received a phone call, and the initial person that I did the dot five for was like, "Hey, Baba, did you hear what happened?" I said, "No." He said, "Blah blah blah." That I did the dot five for. Her boyfriend, her baby daddy, got killed, and he died in the house right in front of her. He was shot outside and made it into the house, and he passed away inside the house. So, is it true or not what Ifa said? It's true, right? That there was death around the lady.
Yes, it was true.
Right. But she didn't make the elbow because it wasn't what she was looking for. So even if we have something, right, that is farther out, right, that we have our goals set upon, there may be things that are closer to us that Ifa is telling us that, hey, we need to offer a bow or the sacrifice. We need to give something up, right, in order to make it past this obstacle. There's something that has to be given. The sacrifice has to be given in order to make it past this point, right? We know you have your vision set on this. We know you have your vision set on this obstacle that's farther out in your future. But these things are more immediate, and you need to take care of it. So the husband, right, that she was gonna have, the house that she was gonna have, the freedom that she was gonna have, the children that she was gonna have was all linked to her baby daddy or boyfriend. So how did that upset her plans, right? Because those things she may have them in the future with someone else, but it's not the same. So before the obstacle, right, the challenge that she was already experiencing with whatever brought her to Ifa consultation, right? It is during the consultation that Ifa said that, hey, this thing is more important. This thing is closer to you than that thing. But by offering the elbow and having grace with this thing, saving someone from death is going to alleviate some of that other challenge. It's going to alleviate some of that other suffering. So it's true what Ifa Dare said with Irasun Tutu, Irasun Turupon, right? Our attitude, how we look at things, our perspective is what affects us listening to and following the advice given. Sometimes people just don't believe, right? It's certain things, right? Maybe it's past experiences, maybe it's the size of the bowl of soup on her table that was too big. She couldn't see that she could overcome those challenges, but she needed to do some other things first. So I can't answer that, because I don't know. Like we're not talking about making a bow and then getting into an argument, right? Just the reason why we make it bold because the argument's coming. We make it bold because the obstacle is coming. We follow the taboos because of challenge and being able to make it through the challenge. But without a bow, how are we going to make it through the challenge, right? So we really have to understand what a bow is and what energies are we using or appeasing when we offer a bow. EQ is a big one, right? Because we always offer the animal. So me and I think it was Iyalode was talking about it, and um, I know I was having a conversation as well with Ojibona, and so what is more powerful than death? Anybody can answer it. There's only
Life?
one thing that's more powerful than death. What you say, Naze?
Life?
No, nobody lives forever. Everybody dies.
Ifa.
No, Ejiogbe says that Ifa is not, you know, it says there's a verse in Ejiogbe that says that Arumla took death on the carpet to Olodumare and Ifa was found guilty. What is it? Mogbe Stile.
Is
I
it
don't remember.
Olodumare?
Of course, Olodumare is, but not necessarily. No,
Is it sacrifice?
no, sir. Because no matter, so think about it, right? No matter how many sacrifices you make, you're gonna go to the upper room eventually. If I Timmy land,
I don't know. I was thinking, like you said, what is the one thing that overrides death?
that's more powerful than death. Sleep.
Elaborate.
Sleep. Sleep is more powerful than death. So there's people on death row. They have a date to die. But I bet you they sleep. They're going to sleep. No matter if death is looming, you're still going to go to sleep. So other than that, there's nothing else that you can put in front of death. Even sleep is not more powerful than death in a way, right? Because whether you sleep or not, you're still going to the upper room. You're still going to experience death. The thing is that because we wear Ide and we wear Ileke, and those represent the sacrifice that we make scapegoating, that we appease death. So this is the purpose behind the sacrifice. So had the young lady made the sacrifice, she would have offered death ahead of the death that she could not control. Well, it's offering sacrifice only forestalls death because there's a certain death that we are going to experience, right? We do experience endings, right? Transformation. We experience it. So this is why how Iya is useful, how your ancestors are useful, because even though they experience maybe one type of death, that the information, the energy still remains. So how are we able to tap into that energy? By making sacrifice. So we have an agreement with death. Abaku Mogbe Sile. Ifa's declaration to Aruma, who would charge death and be found guilty. What happened? What of the elders of old? What of the elders of yesteryear? Had it not been for, I'll publish the verse. But it says that even Arumila or Ifa took death to Olodumare and said, "Hey, he killing my people. My people died indiscriminately. It's not just old people, it's women, it's children, it's innocent people." Olodumare asked Death, what you doing? He's like, "Yeah, I'm just doing my job. This is my job. This is what you created me for." So we will experience death. So because of that, this is why we wear Ide. This is why we follow the taboos. This is why we make the offering. It's a combination of things that help us to put off death, whether physical death or death of a lifestyle or death of a relationship, spiritual death, right? There's different things we do to appease death, right? This is the sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. So, in some way, we can say that we perpetuate Iku to keep it away. So when we offer the Ewure, when we offer the Obuko, when we offer the Aja, when we offer the Yu, when we offer the Agbo, when we offer the Malu, when we make these offerings, it is an energy that we are appeasing, right? So we don't face premature death of the things that we're building, the things that we give life to. So nothing is more powerful than death. But sleep will come and you'll still sleep even though death is imminent. Mm. Yeah, Ayo, did you have a question? I think I probably already asked.
Tony, you did already ask me, but you answered all my questions.
Ashe Kaliba. She ain't saying nothing. Kashawn Grace. Kashambria.
Yes.
You got any questions?
No.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Hey, I know you going through it. You about to pop.
Yes, I can't do nothing but close my eyes and go to sleep.
Ashe.
Shit.
Ashe. David, you got any questions? I think I already asked.
No, Bob, no question.
Ashe.